Good morning, dear children. Let us continue the lesson Force and Laws of Motion. Okay. Last class we have discussed about Newton's second law of motion and how we can measure force. Okay. I think all of you know Newton's second law of motion. What is Newton's second law of motion? The rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to force, that balanced force, and which takes place in the direction of force. Okay, then what is the equation for force by Newton's second law? That is F equal to m into a. That is, force can be measured as the product of mass and acceleration. Okay, the next we can see some practical applications of Newton's second law. Applications of Newton's second law of motion. Okay, and this force can be written as m into, actually instead of a we can write v minus u by t, rate of change of velocity. Okay, then by Newton's second law we can write F equal to m actually, and we can rewrite this equation as instead of a we can write v minus u by t, change in velocity by time. So actually F is equal to m into v minus u by t. Okay, and in some practical situations we have to reduce the large momentum of a body suddenly. Okay, in some practical situations we have to reduce the large momentum of a body suddenly. Actually it will lead to what? It will lead to actually a large force. Okay, that is, whenever there is a change of momentum, that will lead to a large force. Okay, which may cause injury or damage, because you know the change in momentum, that is proportional to force. So whenever there is a sudden large change in momentum, that will cause a change in force. Okay, and to prevent this, actually the time taken to reduce the momentum of a body is increased. Okay, to prevent the large force, we have to increase what? The time taken to reduce the momentum has to be increased. Okay, and due to this, what will happen? The amount of force acting on the body will decrease. Okay, when the time taken to reduce the momentum gets increased, what will happen? The force also get reduced, because actually here the force is inversely proportional to time. So the time taken to reduce the momentum of a body, that will increase, correspondingly the force will decreases. Correspondingly the force will decreases. Okay, so here we can see more examples to make it more clear. Okay, then only we can and see what happens when the time increases, the time taken to decrease the momentum, that will increase, how it affects the force. Let's see more examples. You know the cricket match or a cricket game. Okay, in this actually the fielder or the cricketer lowers his hands while taking catch. Okay, a cricket player lowers his hands while taking catch, and this can be explained by Newton's second law. Okay, you know the momentum of the moving ball is very large. Okay, the momentum of a fast moving ball is very large. In catching the ball, actually the momentum of the ball has to be reduced to zero. Okay, in catching the ball, the momentum of the ball has to be reduced to zero. Okay, actually what happening here is, when a cricketer lowers his hands while taking catch or while taking catch, what will happen? The time taken to reduce the momentum of the fast moving ball increases. Okay, when the cricket player lowers his hands, the time taken to reduce the momentum of fast moving ball increases. Okay, you know the relation, from this relation, you know F is equal to m into v minus u by t. When time increases, what will happen? The force exerted by the ball on the hands, that also decreases. Okay, the force exerted by the ball on the hands of player, that also actually decreases. Okay, so the hands of player do not get hurt. Okay, that is why the cricket player lowers his hands while taking catch. Okay, is it clear for you? You know, the momentum of a fast moving ball, that is very large actually. In catching the ball, the momentum of the ball has to be reduced to 0. Okay, and when a cricket player lowers his hands while catching the ball, then the time taken to reduce the momentum of the moving ball increases. So by this relation, as time increases, what happens to force? Force will decrease. So the force exerted by the ball on the hands of the player, that will decreases, and so the hands of the player do not get hurt. That is why while taking catch, the fielder or the cricket player lowers his hands. The second application is, it is our common experience that our hands get hurt more when we hit on a ball than when we hit on a sponge. Okay, our hands get hurt more when we hit on a ball than when we hit on a sponge, and this can be explained by Newton's second law. Okay, when we hit on a ball, what will happen actually? The large change in momentum of the hands takes place. When we hit on a ball, the large change in momentum of our hands takes place in a very short interval of time. Okay, suppose when we hit our hand on a ball, the large change in momentum takes place. Okay, the large change in momentum of our hands takes place in a very short interval of time. Hence, a large force is exerted on our hands. Okay, that is why a large force is exerted on our hands. Okay, but we hit on a sponge, what will happen? It gets compressed. When we hit on a sponge, it gets compressed and the hands come to rest in a longer time. Okay, when we hit on a sponge, what will happen? It gets compressed and your hands come to rest for a longer time. So, the change in momentum takes place in a large time interval. Due to this, the change in momentum takes place in a large time interval. Okay, hence less force is exerted on our hand. Okay, because the change in momentum takes place for a longer time, what will happen? The less force, when time increases, what happens to the force? It gets reduced. So, less force is exerted on our hand. That is why we can say our hands get hurt more when we hit on a ball than when we hit on a sponge. Okay, then when he hit on a sponge. And this is the second application of Newton's second law. And the third application, actually that is, the athletic events like high jump and long jump, where the players are provided with a heap of sand or cushion. I think you know. Okay, the athletic events like high jump and in long jump, the players are provided with a heap of sand or cushion on the ground to fall on. What is the reason why these players are provided with a heap of sand or cushion? Okay, that can be explained with the help of Newton's second law. Okay, and suppose it is because actually when the player falls on the heap of sand or cushion, actually what happens, then the time taken, it takes longer time to bring his momentum to 0. Suppose if the player falls on a heap of sand or cushion, the time, it takes longer time to reduce his momentum to 0. Okay, and due to sand or cushion, a small force is exerted on the player. Due to the sand or cushion, a less force is exerted on the player. Okay, which prevents injuries. I think you know. Okay, but if he falls on a ground floor or a hard ground, okay, suppose if he falls on a hard ground, what happens? His momentum becomes 0 in a very short interval of time. Okay, suppose when the player falls on a hard ground, his momentum becomes 0 in a very short interval of time. Okay, and he experienced a large force. Due to this, he experienced a large force and which caused severe injuries to the player. Which caused severe injuries to the player. You know, as time increases, what happens? The time increases, the force gets reduced. And here, when the player that falls on a hard floor or hard ground, the time, it takes less time to reduce its momentum to zero. That is why as time decreases, what happens? The force increases. So greater force is exerted on him. That is why it causes injuries. Okay. Due to this, the athletic events such as in high jump and in long jump, the players are provided with either heap of sand or cushion. Okay. That is the third application of Newton's second law. So we can summarize the important applications of Newton's second law of motion. Okay, the first is a cricket player lowers his hands while taking catch. Then the second is our hands get hurt more when we hit on a wall than when he hit on a sponge. And the next is in high jump and in long jump, the players are provided with a heap of sand or cushion. And the next application is actually the use of seat belts in a car prevents injuries to the passengers in case of an accident or in case of sudden application of brakes. Okay, the use of seat belts in a car actually that prevents injuries to the passengers in case of an accident or in case of sudden application of brakes. Okay. Also, another one application is also there. A karate player can break the pile of tiles by hitting it with his hand at very fast speed. Okay, a karate player can break the pile of tiles by hitting it with his hand at a very fast speed. And these are the important applications of Newton's second law. As informed earlier, next we can do the problems. Okay, all of you having the questions? Okay, then take the questions. Okay, and here the first question is an acceleration of 2 meter per second square is produced in a body of mass 20 kg. Then we have to calculate the amount of force exerted on the body. And here we have the body of mass 20 kg. So the mass of the body is given. M is equal to 20 kg. Okay. And the acceleration produced on the body is what? Actually the acceleration is A is equal to 2 meter per second square. The acceleration is 2 meter per second square. Then we have to calculate the amount of force. I know all of you know the equation for force. F is equal to what? What is the equation for force? F is equal to ma. The force F equal to ma. So here the m is given as 20 and the acceleration A is given as 2. So 20 into 2 actually it is 40. You know the unit of force? What is the unit of force? Okay, Newton. So 40 Newton is the force exerted on the body. Okay, and here the acceleration of 2 meter per second square is produced in a body of mass 20 kg. So the mass is given as 20 kg and the acceleration A is given as 2 meter per second square. We have to calculate the amount of force. Then all of you know the equation for force. F is equal to ma. Then substitute for mass, that is 20. Then acceleration is 2. So we got 40 Newton is the force. Okay, the second question is a force of 35 Newton produces an acceleration of 1.5 meter per second square in a box. Then we have to calculate the mass of the box. Okay, actually in this question the force is given as 35 Newton. That is F is equal to what? 35 Newton. The force is given as 35 Newton. It produces an acceleration. So A is given as 1.5 meter per second square. A is 1.5 meter per second square. Okay, then we have to calculate the mass of the box M. We have to find M. Okay, then how we can calculate M? you know the equation for force. F is equal to ma. From this, what is m? M equal to what? F divided by a. That is actually m. Okay, then F is given as 35. That divided by acceleration, actually it is 1.5. Then dividing 35 by 1.5, we will get 23.3 kg. That is the mass of the box. Okay, is it clear? And here the force 35 Newton. The force is given as 35 Newton and it produces an acceleration. A is equal to 1.5 meter per second square in a box. Okay, so next we have to find the mass of the box. Then how we can find the mass? By taking the equation F is equal to ma. From this mass, m is equal to F by a. And F is 35 and acceleration is 1.5. By dividing this, we get the mass of the box as 23.3 kg. And the third question is, a car of mass 1800 kg is moving with a velocity of 60 km per hour. We have to calculate the momentum of the car. Okay, so the mass of the car is given as m is equal to, at the given terms here, the mass of the car, that is 1800 kg. And it is moving with a velocity v is equal to 60 km per hour. Velocity v is equal to 60 km per hour. Then we have to calculate what? Momentum. Okay, momentum. You know, momentum is represented by the letter T. Okay, you know the equation for momentum. All of you know the equation for momentum. What is momentum? Momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So momentum P is equal to m into v. Okay, and here the velocity is given in kilometer per hour. I think we have to convert it into meter per second. All of you know how we can convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. Multiplying by 5 by 18. Okay, multiplying by 5 by 18. So we will get 60 into 5 by 18. Actually it is 50 by 3 meter per second. Okay. Here, in order to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we have to multiply by 5 by 18. Okay. Then multiplying this, we will get 50 by 3 meter per second. That is the velocity. And here we have to find what? Momentum of the car. We have to find momentum of the car. So we know the equation for momentum. P as mass into velocity. M into V. Here the mass is given as 1800 into velocity. We got the velocity as 50 by 3. Okay. 50 divided by 3. And by simplifying this, we will get actually 30,000. Okay. We will get actually 30,000. And all of you know the unit of momentum. What is the unit of momentum actually? It is kilogram meter per second. Don't forget to write the units. Okay. After completing the problem. Okay. Then the momentum P is, by simplifying this, we will get the momentum as 30,000 kilogram meter per second. Kilogram meter per second. Okay, here a car of mass 1800 kg. So mass is given as 1800 kg and the velocity of the car is given as 60 km per hour. Here the velocity is given in kilometer per hour. So we have to convert it into meter per second. Then how we can convert kilometer per hour into meter per second? Multiplying by 5 by 18. So we will get 50 by 3 meter per second. Next we have to find the momentum of the car. All of you know the equation for momentum. P is equal to m into v. And m is given as 1800 into. We found out the velocity 50 by 3. And simplifying this, we will get the momentum as 30,000 kilogram meter per second. Okay. And next, the fourth question is, a body of mass 25 kg is initially moving with the velocity of 30 meter per second. A force is applied on it for 5 seconds. It changes its velocity to 40 meter per second square. Then we have to calculate first the change in momentum of the body, then rate of change of momentum of the body, then acceleration produced in the body, and also we have to calculate the force applied on the body. Okay, here a body of mass 25 kg. So mass of the body is given as m is equal to what? 25 kg. Okay, the mass is given as what? 25 kg. Initially moving with a velocity. So its initial velocity is given. You know how we can represent which letter is used to denote the initial velocity? Okay, u is given as the initial velocity. U is given as 30 meter per second. The initial velocity u is given as 30 meter per second. After that, a force is applied for it for 5 seconds. Okay, so its velocity changes to 40 meter per second. So the final velocity v equal to 40 meter per second during the time t equal to 5 seconds. Okay, then we have to first calculate the change in momentum. Okay, here the mass of the body is given as 25 kg and its initial velocity is given as 30 meter per second. Then after the application of force, the velocity changes to the final velocity v, that is 40 meter per second during the time 5 seconds. So first we have to calculate what change in momentum. Okay, change in momentum. You know what is momentum? Momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Okay, here in the actually in the derivation of what the Newton's second law, the force F equal to ma. In there we have learned how to find the change in momentum. Okay, actually change in momentum is what actually how we can find the change in momentum. Actually it is a final momentum minus initial momentum. That will give what change in momentum. So first we have to find the initial momentum and final momentum. From there we can find what change in momentum. Actually change in momentum is final momentum minus initial momentum. Okay, let's calculate the initial momentum. Here the initial momentum is represented as moment P1. That is the initial momentum. Initial momentum is mass into initial velocity mu. Okay, initial momentum is what? Mass into initial velocity. So it is mass actually 25 into the initial velocity. Actually the initial velocity is actually 30 meter per second. 30 meter per second. So we will get 750. Okay, 750. Then what is the unit of momentum? Kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. Okay, so the initial momentum is actually 750 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. The next we have to find the final momentum. It is P2. Okay, final momentum is actually mass into final velocity. Mass into final velocity. So the mass is actually 25 into the final velocity is actually what? The final velocity is actually 40. So we'll get 1000 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1 or kilogram meter per second. That is the final momentum. Okay. Then next we have to find the change in momentum. Okay, change in momentum. Change in momentum is final momentum P2 minus initial momentum P1. So actually P2 is 1000 minus 750. Actually it is what? 250 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. Actually it is the change in momentum. Change in momentum is actually 250 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. Okay, the next we have to find what the second part is actually we have to find the rate of change of momentum. You know what is rate of change of momentum? Change in momentum divided by time. Rate of change in P, that is equal to change in momentum, change in P divided by time T. Okay, change in momentum divided by time, that will give what? Rate of change in momentum. And here the change in momentum is 250. That divided by what is time? 5 seconds. So it will give what? Rate of change of momentum. Actually it is 250 by 5. Actually it is 50 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. Okay, actually this is the rate of change of momentum. 50 kilogram meter second raised to minus 1. Actually it is the rate of change in momentum. Okay, the next we have to find what? Acceleration produced in the body. Okay, we have to find the acceleration. You know what is acceleration? A is equal to, you know the equation, change in velocity by time. V minus u divided by t. What is V here actually? 40. What is u actually? 30. Divided by time is 5. Actually it is 10 by 5, 2 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. Acceleration A is equal to 2 meter per second square. Okay, the next is actually we have to find the force. Okay, you know the equation for force by Newton's second law. F is equal to ma. Newton's second law, F equal to ma. So the mass is given as 25. Acceleration, we got the acceleration as 2. So it is 50 Newton. You know the equation for, sorry, the unit of force, that is Newton. So we will get 50 Newton. Okay. And here a body of mass 25 kg is initially moving with a velocity. So mass is given as m is equal to 25 kg. Then initial velocity is given as 30 meter per second. Then after applying force, its velocity changes to 40 meter per second. So its final velocity v equal to 40 meter per second during the time t equal to 5 seconds. In the first part, we have to calculate the change in momentum. Okay, for calculating change in momentum, we should know the final momentum and the initial momentum. Okay, final momentum minus initial momentum gives the change in momentum. So first we have to calculate the initial momentum. Initial momentum is actually mass into initial velocity. So mass 25 into initial velocity 30. So it will give 750. Then its final momentum is mass into final velocity. So P2 is equal to m into v. Actually it is 25 into 40, that is 1000 kilogram meter per second. Okay, so change in momentum is final momentum minus initial momentum. So 1000 minus 750, actually that it is 250 kilogram meter per second. Okay, then second part, we have to find the rate of change of momentum. How we can find rate of change of momentum? Change in momentum divided by time. Actually the change in momentum is 250 and time is 5. So we will get 50 kilogram meter per second. That is the rate of change in momentum. Next we have to calculate acceleration. All of you know the equation for acceleration. Change in velocity by time. That is v minus u by t. V the final velocity 40 minus 30 by 5. That will actually 2 meter per second square. The next we have to find the force. Okay, you know the equation for force, F equal to m into a. So m 25 into 2, actually that it is 50 Newton. Okay, is it clear for you? And the fifth question is, the velocity time graph of a ball of mass 20 gram moving along a straight line on a long table is shown in the figure. Okay, how much force does the table exert on the ball to bring it to rest? Okay, actually here the velocity time graph of a moving ball along a table is given. Okay, we have to find the force exerted by the table on the ball to bring the ball to rest. Okay, we have to find the force exerted by the table. Okay, on the ball to bring it to rest. We have to find force. Okay, then you know, all of you know the equation for force. F is equal to what? The equation for force. F equal to ma. Okay, and here the mass m is given as what? Actually it is 20 gram. Okay, mass m is given as 20 gram. Okay, actually it is not the SI unit, so we have to convert it into kilogram. You know how we can convert gram into kilogram. Okay, how we know? 20 divided by what? 1000. Okay, that means kilogram. Actually it is okay, 20 divided by 1000 kilogram. Okay, then mass around we know. Then what about A? We don't know actually. The question is not given. The acceleration. But using this velocity time graph, we can calculate what? Acceleration. Using this velocity time graph, we can calculate acceleration. Okay, you know the equation for acceleration. A is equal to change in velocity by time. V minus u by t. Okay, that is the equation for acceleration. A is equal to v minus u divided by t. From the graph, we should know u and v. Okay, you know what is u? What is the initial velocity? That is during the time 0 second. What about the velocity is actually it is initial velocity u is equal to 20 meter per second. That is the initial velocity during the time 0 second. The velocity, corresponding velocity is what? 20 meter per second. That is the initial velocity. The next final velocity, that is during the, what is the final velocity? During 10 seconds, what about the final velocity? Velocity decreases to 0. So the time t equal to 10 second. What about the final velocity? v equal to 0 meter per second. Okay, 0. The velocity decreases to 0 during the time 10 second. So the velocity v is 0 meter per second. So we can find acceleration a equal to v minus u by t. That is v is 0 minus u is 20. The time interval 10 minus 0, that is again 10. So we got minus 2 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. Minus 2 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. So we can find the force F as mass into acceleration. Mass is 20 divided by 1000 into actually 2. Okay, that is the force. Here 0, 0, then 4 divided by 100. 4 divided by 100. What is actually 4 divided by 100? This thing we can write as 0.04 Newton. That is the force. Okay, 0.04 Newton is the force exerted by the table on the pot, on the ball. Okay, and here the acceleration is actually negative, so we have to put negative sign. So we will get the negative force. Okay, we will get the negative force here because the force exerted, actually the negative sign shows that the force exerted by the table is opposite to the direction of motion of ball. That is why we got here a negative sign. Okay, and here the velocity time graph of ball of mass 20 gram is given. Actually this is the velocity time graph of the ball. Here the mass of the ball is actually 20 gram. This gram, I think we have to convert it into kilogram. I think you know how we can convert. Divided by 1000, that is 20 divided by 1000 kg. That is the mass of the ball. Then we have to find the force exerted by the table on the ball. You know the equation for force F equal to m into a. But mass is, we know the mass, but we don't know the acceleration. For that, actually the velocity time graph is given. From that we can calculate what? Acceleration. You know the equation for acceleration, a is equal to v minus u by t. Okay, from the velocity time graph we can know the initial velocity u. Actually during the time 0, that is the initial velocity is actually 20 meter per second. Then what is the final velocity at the end of 10 seconds? What is the final velocity? It is 0. So we can substitute here acceleration a is equal to v minus u by t. Then v 0 minus 20 by 10. Actually that it is minus 2 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. Next we have to find the force exerted by the table on the ball. Actually it is F equal to ma. Then m 20 by 1000 into acceleration is minus 2. By simplifying this, we will get 4 by 100 actually. That it is, this thing we can write it. How we can write it? We have to replace 2 zeros. Okay. Then 4 divided by 100, actually that will give 0.04 Newton, negative. Okay. Minus 0.04 Newton. That is actually the force exerted by the table on the ball to bring the ball to rest. Here, actually the negative, what is the significance of negative sign here? The negative sign shows that the force exerted by the table is opposite to the motion of the ball. Okay, is it clear? And the next question is, that is the sixth question. A force of 10 Newton gives an acceleration of 2 meter per second square to mass m1 and an acceleration of 2.5 meter per second square to mass m2. What will be the acceleration produced when the same force is applied to both the masses tied together? Okay, here a force of 10 Newton, that gives an acceleration of 2 meter per second square on an object of mass m1. Okay, here a force of 10 Newton gives an acceleration of 2 meter per second square on a mass of m1. Okay, that is when we apply force 10 Newton on m1, it produces an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. And the same force acted on m2, it again produces an acceleration of 2.5 meter per second square. Okay, and the same force is applied to both the masses tied together. Okay, that is when m1 and m2 tied together, we apply the same force 10 Newton. Then what is the acceleration produced? That thing we have to find. The acceleration produced we have to find. Okay, you know what is the equation? I think the question is clear for you. Here, when a force of 10 Newton that produces how much acceleration? 2 meter per second square on a mass of m1. And the same force produces 2.5 meter per second square on the mass m2. Then next we have what we have to find actually the acceleration produced when the same force is applied when both the masses are tied together. Here both the masses are tied together. We apply the same force 10 Newton. Then we have to find the acceleration of this system. That is the acceleration of these two masses tied together. Okay, that thing we have to find. So the force is, you know the equation for force, F equal to ma. Then how we can calculate it? A is equal to what? F divided by m. Okay, the force is, the equation for force F equal to ma. We have to find the acceleration. A equal to F by m actually. Force, we know the force 10 Newton, but we don't know the mass m. Okay, here we have to find what? Here both the masses tied together. So we have to write m1 plus m2. F A equal to F divided by m1 plus m2. But we don't know what is m1 and m2. Okay, so first we have to find m1 and m2. Using the same relation, that is force F1 equal to, the force F equal, we can write symbol as F equal to mass m1 into A1. Okay, because the force is same, so we can write F as m1 A1. Then what is m1 actually? m1 is equal to F divided by A1. Is it? F divided by A1. Then what is F actually? 10 divided by A1 is 2. Then 10 by 2 actually it is 5 kg. Okay, F divided by A1. F is actually 10, A1 is 2. So 5 kg. Similarly, we can find M2. What is M2 actually? F divided by A2. Is it correct? If M2 equal to F divided by actually A2. You know F, the same force, 10 divided by what is A2 actually? 2.5. Okay, then 10 divided by 2.5 actually it is 4 kg. Okay, it is 4 kg. Then what is M1 plus M2 here? M1 plus M2 is actually 5 plus 4. It is 9 kg. Okay. M1 plus M2 is actually 5 plus 4. Actually it is 9 kg. Then what is acceleration A here? A is equal to F divided by M1 plus M2. You know what is F? The same force 10. 10 divided by actually it is M1 plus M2. That is 9. Okay, 10 divided by 9 actually it is 1.1 meter per second square. So the acceleration produced is what actually it is 1.1 meter per second square. 1.1 meter per second square. Okay, here a force of 10 Newton produces an acceleration of 2 meter per second square on a mass m1. And the same force produces 2.5 meter per second square acceleration on a mass m2. After that, we tied both the masses together. Then apply the same force. Then what is the acceleration? That thing we have to find. So we know the equation F equal to ma. Then A, we have to find A. So it is F by m. But here, actually instead of m, we have to write what? M1 plus m2. But we know the equation, we know the value of F. But we don't know what is m1 and m2. So first we have to find m1 and m2. For that we again take the equation F equal to m1 into a1. Okay, so m1 is F by a1. That is 10 divided by 2. Actually it is 5 kg. Then m2 is, we can write F by a2. Actually it is 10 divided by 2.5. It is 4 kg. Then what is m1 plus m2? Actually it is 5 plus 4. It is 9 kg. So acceleration A is equal to actually F divided by m1 plus m2. That is 10 divided by 9. Actually it is 1.1 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. All of you got it? Okay, children, that is the end of today's class. Still problems there. I think we can do on next class. Okay, study well. You have any doubt, then ask me. Okay, thank you, children.